Tale Factory, where every story teaches you something, every moment lifts you up, and every ending stays with you. From heartwarming kindness to incredible journeys, we bring you stories that make you smile, make you wonder, and make you believe in goodness again. Ready? Sit back, relax, and let's start the tale. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our family for more amazing stories every week. Famous boy shamed his classmate during their school party, but got what he deserved. The Tale Factory. Andy stood hesitantly at the school gate, fingers twisting the strap of his well-used backpack. His family had moved to the city just days before. Both his parents had lost their jobs at the factory back home, and they'd had no choice but to start over in a cramped apartment here where work was harder to find, but at least possible. Andy was naturally quiet, the kind of boy who preferred blending into the background rather than standing out. But with his soft, dark hair, warm, kind eyes, and gentle, handsome features, it was impossible for anyone to look past him. When he stepped into his new classroom that first morning, the room's chatter faded away. Every head turned his way. As his teacher guided him to an empty seat, he heard soft whispers rippling through the rows. Is he the new transferee? He's so good looking. I hope he's in our group. Andy's face burned bright red, and he stared hard at his shoes, wishing he could vanish. But while most girls watched him with shy curiosity, one boy stared with cold, sharp anger. John had always been the center of everything at this school. He was the basketball team captain, loud and confident, and he'd gotten used to all eyes being on him. Everyone looked at him, talked about him, admired him. For years, no one had ever come close to stealing his spotlight, until Andy walked in. That was the moment John decided he hated the new boy. The bullying started right away. John stuck out his leg to trip Andy in the middle of class, making him stumble and drop his things in front of everyone. He hid Andy's textbooks and tossed his notes into the trash. In the hallways, he'd bump hard against Andy's shoulder just to watch him flinch, then laugh loudly with his friends. Every chance he got, John would lean close and snarl, "You don't belong here. No one wants you here." As the days passed, it only got worse. John blocked Andy's path after school, shouted cruel insults about his family and his old clothes, and made sure no one dared to sit or talk to him. John didn't care that Andy was lonely or scared. He didn't care that Andy had never asked for any of this attention. All he wanted was for things to go back to how they used to be. For all the eyes, all the whispers, all the admiration to belong only to him again. He wanted Andy to break. He wanted him to get tired of being hurt, to give up, and never come back to this school. And for a long time, Andy almost did. He lay awake at night wondering if it would be easier to just stop going to class. He'd never wanted to be noticed. He'd only wanted a place to belong. But now he was trapped in a fight he never asked for, simply because someone else was too selfish to share the light. For 3 whole days, Andy didn't go to school. He'd pretend to have a fever or just sit by the window, too afraid and heartbroken to face John again. His mom knocked gently on his door one morning. "Andy, you haven't missed this many days even when you were really sick. What's going on?" Andy hugged his knees tight. "Mom, can I just stop going? I don't fit in there. It's better if I don't go back." The next afternoon, there was a soft knock on their apartment door. When Andy opened it, Mara stood there, holding his lost workbook. "Hi, Andy. I brought your book, and I came to see how you are," she said softly, stepping inside. "We've all been wondering where you've been." Andy looked down at his scuffed shoes. "I know John won't stop. He wants me gone. If I quit, everyone will be happy again." Mara frowned and squeezed his hand. "No one wants you gone except him. You didn't do anything wrong, Andy. Don't let him win. I'll walk with you to class, okay? You won't have to face him alone." Her kindness made Andy's eyes burn. He nodded quietly. "Okay, I'll go back tomorrow." But when John saw Andy walking into school beside Mara the next morning, his face turned dark with rage. Mara was his girlfriend, and seeing her defend the new boy made his jealousy burn hotter than ever. "So you had the nerve to come back?" John blocked their way, eyes fixed on Andy. "And you? Why are you wasting your time on him, Mara? He's nothing." "Stop it, John. He's our classmate," Mara snapped. John ignored her completely, leaning close to Andy and growling, "You think she can protect you? I'll make sure you wish you never showed up here." After school, John dragged Andy behind the gym, out of everyone's sight. He shoved Andy hard against the concrete wall, then punched his arm roughly. "Stay away from my girlfriend. Get out of my school," he shouted, shoving Andy again until he stumbled to the ground. Andy curled up, too scared to fight back. He didn't notice someone had been watching from the shadows all this time. Gary, the quiet boy who always sat at the back of the room. No one spoke much to him, but even the loudest bullies never dared to mess with him. Gary stepped forward slowly, his voice calm, but sharp enough to cut through the noise. "Let him go, John." John jumped back, his face flushing. "Gary, this is none of your business. Mind your own business." "It is my business when I see you beating someone up for no reason," Gary said, stepping between them. "Walk away, now." John's jaw tightened, but he knew better than to pick a fight with Gary. He spat on the ground, glared at them both, and stormed off. Gary knelt down and helped Andy up. "You all right?" Andy rubbed his sore arm, nodding slowly. "Yeah, thank you. I really thought no one would help me." "Bullies only act tough when they think no one's watching," Gary said simply. "If he bothers you again, tell me. I've got your back." From that day on, Andy and Gary were always together. They ate lunch side by side, walked to class together, and Gary never let John get close to Andy alone. For the first time since he moved, Andy felt like he finally had a real friend. But John was not ready to give up. As he watched them talk and laugh from across the field, his eyes narrowed. He hadn't gotten his spotlight back yet, and he was already plotting something far worse. He'd humiliate Andy in front of the whole school, shame him so badly that he'd have no choice but to leave for good. Weeks passed, and John's usual taunts and shoves stopped completely. He walked past Andy without a word, and most of the students sighed in relief. "Looks like John finally gave up," one classmate said to Andy during lunch. "Gary really put him in his place, huh?" Gary only shook his head slowly. "He's not the type to admit defeat. Just stay careful." He was right. John had not stopped. He was only hiding his rage, burning with the thought that he had lost to the new boy. He would not accept being pushed aside. He would make sure Andy left the school for good, and this time, he would do it where everyone could see. When prom season came, John assumed Mara would be his date as always. But one afternoon, Mara walked up to Andy, twisting her dress straps nervously. "Andy, would you be my date for the prom?" Andy's eyes went wide. Me? But what about John? Everyone expects you two to go together." Mara smiled softly. "Prom is about who I want to be with, and I want to go with you." When John heard the news, his face twisted with pure fury. He stormed over to Mara. "You chose him? Over me? After everything? This isn't a contest, John," Mara said firmly. "And you lost a long time ago when you decided to be cruel just to feel important." That was the final push. John made his plan. He snuck onto the stage after school, hung a large bucket full of pig blood right above the center spot, and paid the judges to pick Andy as prom king. Once he steps up to receive the crown, he whispered to his friends, "Everyone will see him covered in filth. He'll run away and never come back." Prom night arrived. The gym was decorated with lights and flowers. Guests, teachers, and students laughed and danced. Andy stood by the stage with Mara and Gary, still feeling a little shy, but happier than he'd been in months. Only John and his friends stood in the shadows, staring at Andy with burning eyes. At last, the announcer took the microphone. "And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. This year's prom king, Andy!" The crowd cheered loudly. Andy smiled and walked toward the stage. John waited for the bucket to fall, but nothing happened. The rope had gotten stuck. "Useless," John hissed. Furious and impatient, he climbed up the scaffolding above the stage himself, planning to tip the bucket over Andy's head by hand. But as he leaned forward, his foot slipped on the loose wood. Ugh! He fell hard, his ankle catching tight on a support cable. Suddenly, he was hanging upside down, face to face with the bucket he had set up. Before he could move, the bucket tipped, and gallons of thick, dark pig blood poured all over his head, soaking his hair, his suit, and his entire body. Silence fell over the gym for a heartbeat. Then someone giggled, and soon the whole room burst into loud, uncontrollable laughter. John's face burned bright red under the blood. He had never felt so ashamed in his life. Teachers rushed to help him down, but he broke free and ran out of the hall without a word. No one saw John at school the next day, or the days after. His family later said he had transferred to another school. He could not bear the shame of what he had tried to do and how it had turned right back on him. Peace finally settled over the campus. No more whispers, no more fear. Andy, Mara, and Gary spent their days laughing, studying, and enjoying the friendship they had found. For the first time since he arrived, Andy felt like he truly belonged. Moral lesson: jealousy and pride will only trap you. John wanted to be the center of attention so badly that he destroyed his own reputation and happiness. The harm you prepare for others will always find its way back to you. Did you love today's story? Then don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with all your friends and family, and most of all, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. I'll be back with more awesome stories tomorrow. Can't wait to see you then.